The air in our kitchen felt thick, like it was holding its breath. The clock above the stove ticked too loudly, each second slicing into the silence that followed her words. "I don't want your last name anymore," Sarah said, her voice steady but sharp, a knife wrapped in velvet. Her eyes, usually warm like summer earth, were cold, fixed on the coffee mug she clutched. "My new lover says you're a loser, and I should leave you behind." The words hit me like a fist to the gut, stealing my breath. I stood frozen, the linoleum floor cold under my bare feet, the faint hum of the fridge mocking the normalcy we'd lost. I wanted to laugh, to call it a cruel joke, but her face, unyielding, lips pressed thin, told me this was no prank. My pulse thundered in my ears, and the room tilted. "What?" I managed, my voice a hoarse whisper, as if speaking louder would make it real. Sarah didn't look up. She traced the mug's rim with her thumb, her wedding ring glinting under the fluorescent light. That ring, the one I'd slipped on her finger 10 years ago under a spring sky, now felt like a prop in someone else's story. The signs had been there, hadn't they? I replayed the last few months in my mind, each memory a jagged piece of a puzzle I'd refused to solve. The late night she claimed worth awake, her phone angled just out of my sight, the way her laughter had grown distant, like an echo from another room. I'd told myself it was stress, her promotion, the long hours at the law firm. I'd rationalized a perfume I didn't recognize, the way she'd started locking her phone. Doubt had whispered, but love had shouted louder. Now, her words burned those excuses to ash. "Who is he?" I asked, my voice cracking like dry wood. My hands gripped the edge of the counter, the chip-full mica biting into my palms. I needed something solid, something to keep me from unraveling. Sarah's gaze flicked up, and for a moment I saw a flicker of guilt, or was it pity, before her expression hardened again. "His name's Ethan," she said, her tone clipped, like she was reading a script. "He's a partner at the firm. He sees me, David, really sees me, not the version of me you box into this life." Her hand gestured vaguely at the kitchen, at the faded curtains I'd promised to replace, at the life we'd built brick by brick. Her words stung, each one a betrayal of the vows we'd made, the nights we'd spent dreaming of a future that now felt like a lie. I wanted to scream, to demand how she could throw away a decade for someone who called me a loser, a word so juvenile it almost made me laugh through the pain. But my throat tightened, and all I could manage was, "When?" The question hung between us, heavy with the weight of every moment I hadn't seen coming. "It started 6 months ago," she admitted, her voice softer now, almost fragile. "At the firm's retreat. It wasn't planned, David. It just happened." She looked away, her fingers twisting the ring now, as if she could erase its meaning. 6 months. Half a year of lies, of her smiling at me while carrying someone else's touch. My stomach churned, and I tasted bile. The kitchen clock kept ticking, indifferent to the wreckage of my world. I thought of the mornings I'd made her coffee, the way I'd kiss her forehead before work, believing we were still us. Had she been thinking of him then? Had she laughed at my trust, my stupid, blind devotion? Anger surged, hot and sharp, but beneath it, grief clawed at my chest. I still loved her, even now, and that truth burned worse than a betrayal. "Why tell me now?" I asked, my voice low, trembling with the effort to stay calm. I wanted to know, but I dreaded the answer. Sarah's shoulders sagged, and for the first time, she looked small, not the fierce woman who'd argued her way through law school or laughed until she cried at my bad jokes. "Because Ethan asked me to move in with him," she said, her words slicing through the air. And I said yes. The room spun again, and I gripped the counter harder, my knuckles white. Move in. She wasn't just confessing. She was leaving. She was choosing him, this faceless man who'd branded me a failure without ever meeting me. I wanted to hate her, to call her selfish, cruel, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, I saw her as she'd been, 25, her hair catching sunlight as we danced at our wedding, her vows promising forever. Where had that woman gone? Had I lost her somewhere in the monotony of bills and routines, or had she always been slipping away? "Did you ever love me?" The question slipped out, raw and desperate, and I hated myself for asking. Her eyes met mine, and for a moment they softened, glistening with unshed tears. "Of course I did," she whispered. I still do, in a way, but it's not enough anymore. Her voice broke, and I saw the crack in her armor, the guilt she couldn't hide. She wasn't a villain, not entirely. She was human, flawed, chasing something I couldn't give her. But that didn't dull the pain. The kitchen felt smaller now, the walls closing in as a truce settled between us. I thought of Ethan, this stranger who'd rewritten our story without my consent. I imagined confronting him, demanding answers, but what would that solve? My pride was in tatters, my heart a battlefield, and no fight would undo what she'd done. What now? I asked, my voice hollow. Sarah stood, smoothing her skate, her movements deliberate, like she was already detaching herself from this moment, from me. I'll stay at a hotel tonight, she said. I'll come back for my things tomorrow. She hesitated, then added, I'm sorry, David. I never wanted to hurt you. But she had, and the apology felt like salt in an open wound. As she walked toward the door, her heels clicking on the hardwood, a memory flashed, her running barefoot through our backyard, laughing as we chased fireflies. I wanted to call her back, to beg her to stay, but my pride, or maybe my pain, kept me silent. The door closed, and the house fell quiet, save for that damn clock. I sank into a chair, the weight of her absence crushing me. My eyes fell on her coffee mug, still half full, lipstick staining the rim. I reached for it, my fingers trembling, and hurled it against the wall. It shattered, coffee splattering like blood, and in that moment, I realized a twist. She hadn't just betrayed me. She betrayed herself, trading our messy, real love for fantasy that would one day crack under its own weight. And I, the loser, was left to pick up the pieces of a life I still believed in.